What's up, guys? It's Sam here, and I wanted to talk about Tesla ending their advertising program. The other day I did a video on Tesla and their advertising. So if you want to check that out, check out the channel and search for Tesla. There's a couple other videos out there, but before I do that, make sure you press that subscribe button and that little bell notification. With that being said, I've got a couple tweets here from Elon the other day, and well, first of all, I'll give you a little context of what I mean by Tesla's advertising program. Tesla has had a affiliate type advertising program similar to Amazon, where with Amazon you will use Amazon affiliate links for specific products to refer people to Amazon. Like if you're watching an Amazon video on something and they'll say, hey, the link for this is down below in the description, and you click on that link, then they get credit for that. Now Tesla's done that too. When you purchase a car, you get a referral code, and essentially they were using influencers to market them, and they were paying them based upon their performance. A lot of times it was not a cash bonus. I don't think it was ever actually a cash bonus. It was always products of some sort or experiences like coming out to events and whatnot and getting invites to that kind of thing. So I think that is a amazing way to do things, relatively cheap compared to traditional advertising. I think that's a great way to advertise, and especially because it comes across a lot more authentic, in my opinion, than a lot of the other advertising that is done out there. Because it's coming from an individual. I'm not advertising or doing anything with them, but it's coming from an individual telling their story along with it most of the time, in Tesla's case, and that worked. So once the Model 3 came out and they added that to the referral program, and you're giving away like potentially really costly things, or things that cost a lot of money to like the program was costly to administer, right? Because you go from producing, say, a few thousand cars, then that's fine. It's pretty easy to manage, and then it gets bigger and bigger, and then you're producing 90,000 vehicles per quarter, and scales up pretty quickly. So you have a lot of people referring, and the cars are cheaper now. And if you're giving away products or something that are several $1,000s, that can add up pretty quickly. So it makes perfect sense why Tesla would get rid of their advertising program. And obviously that's my terminology, not Tesla. So I'm going to read the tweet from Elon on January 16th at 9 o'clock at 9:30. The Tesla customer referral program will end February 1st. If you want to refer a friend to buy a Tesla and give them 6 months of free supercharging, please do so before then. Then there was a little bit of back and forth and about like why it was ending and whatnot, because companies or brands, or influencers were essentially built on the back of the popularity of Tesla. And because there's so much interest in Tesla as a brand, Elon Musk, all the products, there's been brands or people who were created just off of the interest and talking about that. And so when you have a brand that's built on top, just like there's plenty of brands built on top of Facebook or Amazon or whatever the case is, then these brands have a lot of people that are interested, checking out their shit, interested in terms of Tesla. So they get a lot of the referrals very quickly, and that can be pretty costly. They were giving away the founders edition of the Tesla Roadster, and I believe there's a few people who won multiple Tesla Roadsters at $250,000 each. That's $500,000. I mean, when you factor this in over the course of the number of vehicles that you're selling, that can be that can be pretty expensive. Even if the cost of the Tesla Roadster is $150,000, and they're giving it away, and the value that they say it's worth is $250,000. I mean, that's still $300,000 if somebody's winning two of those, and you spread that. I mean, they sold $250,000 last year, so $300,000. That's $1,000 per vehicle. Like, it's pretty, you know what I mean? And that doesn't include the administrative cost of managing all of this and the smaller prizes that need to be getting sent out. I don't think it's necessarily a. I don't think it's gonna. First of all, two things. I personally think that the program should be revamped to just make it more. Raise the goal, like how much you need to get prizes, but also reduce the prizes in value, so that you have both of those things going on simultaneously, and that can reduce the cost. There has to be an easier way to manage that from an administrative standpoint, because the amount of advertising that comes to Tesla from that, I think, is underestimated from Tesla's standpoint. Yes, they're tremendous in terms of their brand, but I do feel that there's some definitely out there who were just doing that for the referral program, kind of just like an affiliate link. And because of that, Tesla's gained a tremendous amount of value off of that, and getting rid of that completely, I think, is not necessarily the right thing to do. When you look at the ROI of influencer marketing relative to, say, some other type of marketing, I think they had it down, right? Like the ROI on influencer marketing, the way they were doing it, is tremendous, because it gives people an incentive to grow the brand and grow the company's sales through the awareness of the products and features and all the details, and telling the story that Tesla wants them to tell, right? Because if somebody's going to be talking shit about the company, more than likely they're not going to sell anything. So they have an incentive to tell the story that Tesla wants them to tell. And I think there were some influencers out there that put out content specifically for the referral program, bringing their audience into it, who weren't necessarily talking about Tesla at all to start with. And I think that helped, and could continue to help tremendously. But maybe instead of, say, referring 50 vehicle purchases and getting a Roadster, and yes, that's a tremendous amount of money that was referred through sales, but at the same time, I think maybe doubling or tripling these numbers, and or just taking the Model 3 out and only including the Model S or X. So instead of 50, going to, say, 400 or something along these lines might be a better alternative, just from the standpoint that they're able to garnish a lot more exposure through that program, in my opinion, especially for the cost of it. It was getting expensive there, but I think because the brand is very popular, I think that there would be there's still a lot of value there if administered and, I think, rethought reworking that program. Anyway, the last tweet I was just going to read from Elon was just talking about the cost of that. A lot of that obviously was just conjecture and my thoughts on it, but talking about why it's ending and that kind of thing, yes. And was it because of the cost? Yes. And this is from Elon's tweet also on, it's about 30 minutes after that first tweet. Yes, ending on February 1st. It's adding too much cost to the cars, especially the Model 3. So it will be interesting to see how they play out if they revamp it. It's been reworked many times, so it's possible that it could be reworked again. I don't think it should necessarily go away, or that they've thought about how much value that are getting out of it. But I would love to hear what you think down below in the comments, or shoot me a DM on Instagram. There'll be a link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you smash that like button before you go on to the next video. Peace.